Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So we're going to deal now with Styled JSX and we're going to use it to style our navigation right here. What is it exactly? It allows us to write CSS inside our components right here. Just to give you guys a little better understanding, in HTML you can either write your CSS in an external style sheet or inline, or you can write it inside your HTML document between two style tags right here. You can write any CSS you want right there. Or if you're coming from a view background, you will have your template, you have the script tags, and then you obviously have your style. And this one is scope right here. And you can write all your CSS in there. It's basically the idea. So how do we write CSS in Next.js? Inside our components. So what we do is, first thing we need is a style tag. But there's a couple of tweaks we need to do with these style tags right here. The first thing is we have to specify JSX like this, all right? And the next thing is we need to add two curly braces and two backticks. Now these backticks are on your keyboard next to the number 1 key, not next to the numlock number 1 key, all right? And then you have that right there. So now you can write any CSS that you want between these two tags. So let's target our nav right here. So in the nav, okay, and now you're not restricted. The same way when you write your normal CSS in your external style sheet or wherever you write it, you're not restricted. You can write anything you want in here. So let's target our background color, just to make it stand out a bit so that we can see that it's happening. So as you can see, it changes the color right there. So the next thing that we want to do is let's target our anchor tag. Just remember, in a link right here, what will be rendered is just the anchor tag with an href. Okay, so let's target that one right there. So we can either target like nav A, or we can just target the anchor tag, because there's a reason for this. So the anchor tag right there, we just want to give it some style, right? So if we press save, as you can see, it affects it right there. So I'm just going to change this to a lighter color. So just triple E, as you can see it right there. So just move this up a bit. All right, so that's basically, if you want to obviously add more, you can do that. But I just want to show you why you can do this right here and will not affect any of the other components that you might have. There's also maybe got a nav or an anchor tag. So if we go to our browser and we press F12 for the development tools, if we click on it, you will see, let me just zoom in. As you can see, it actually gives a unique ID for that component. So whatever happens to this component, so styling wise, it will not affect any other components with the same name. So the nav right there as well. So let's say we want this anchor tag to have the same styling. Obviously, you're not going to do it in this component, but I just wanted to show it as an example. Now, let's say this anchor tag, you want all anchor tags in your application to have this right here. So how do we do that? Right, so I'm just quickly going to create an external link. Just remember, internal link, we're going to use the link right there. But external ones, we just use the normal anchor tag. And I'm just going to say this one is going to go to Google link like this, and if I press save, as you can see, the color is like this. It doesn't affect it. Okay, so let's quickly go there. In order to affect it globally, all we have to do is we have to change this part right here. Just next to the JSX, we just add global like this. Now if I press save, that nothing happens, but if I refresh, you will see it affects that link right there as well. So now this styling is affecting the whole application and not just the component by just adding this global tag right there. But that's not what I want to do. So I just wanted to show you that's how you can do it. So let me just remove this, and I just want to style this component. Another thing that makes it quite nice with JSX, you can add some dynamism to your application. So how do we do that? Now let's say this nav bar right here, as you can see, it's got this gray color. Now if we want to pass in a prop, well, let's say if the nav is, but for instance in a dashboard or the main, we want the background color to change accordingly. Now this is just a simple example, but let's go to our layout right here. So this is our nav bar right here, and I just want to pass in a type, and we want to say the type must be main. Okay, and save that. Inside our component right here, we're going to receive it as props, just like this. And now inside our style right there, we can check for that. So let's quickly check for that prop. Now what we do is we add a $sign and some curly braces, and then we're just going to go to the props, and we're just going to check the type and see if that is equal to main, then give us a color. So if that is main, just give us the, just make it something ridiculous. So let's do the black as well, the dark gray actually. I'm just going to move it down a bit so that you guys can easily see it. So as you can see, the prop type's main. We're going to check if it's main. We're going to make it that dark gray, as you can see right there. If it's not, just make it a greenish color. So let's quickly change this to something else, just anything, just like that. As you can see, it turns to the green color. So that's how we can add a dynamic coloring or anything that you want inside your Styled.JSX. Quite powerful. But here is a little bit of a nugget of knowledge for you. If you have something inside your Styled.JSX that is dynamic, you need to just remove it from your Styled.JSX and create another Styled.JSX. Let me just actually copy this down like this, and I'm just going to remove this because this part is static. So this part is static. It doesn't change. It kind of stays the same, but this part is dependent on the props. So what will happen now is whenever the prop change, only this part will be recomputed right there. Okay, so if you have something that is dynamic, keep it separate from the static, just like this. It's not recommended, but it's just a good practice. So basically, when the prop change, only the dynamic parts will be recomputed. Right, so the next thing is now we learned how to basically localize it for the component itself or how to add it globally. Now, other part that you can do is you can create an external JSX style sheet. Right, in order to do that, we go to our styles right here and we're going to create a new file for our JSX, and this one we're just going to call global.css. So what I want to do, not actually CSS, this needs to be JavaScript. Right, so what I want to do is all the CSS for the default styling, I just wanted to put it inside this file just as an example so that we can see the effect right there. Okay, so now inside here, what we do is we say import, okay, CSS, and we can just say from styled, I think styled JSX /CSS. Right there. Okay, just to kind of give you an idea where this is coming from. So in your node modules, when you do your installation, if we go down to Styled JSX, inside here, you will see it right there, and we're going to look for that CSS. Okay, awesome stuff. Now the next thing is we're going to create an export default, and then we're just going to set CSS to global. And then we're just going to add our two backticks. Okay, and then we can write any CSS we want in here. And I just want to use all the CSS basically for the global one. And then I'm just going to paste it in here. Just an example because I don't want to type in too much. Right, so that's just now our component for our JSX is all done. Now let me just go to our app CSS right here. So pages under app CSS, just comment this one out. If we save that, as you can see, the default styling is being removed right there. So the next thing is under our layout, let's import this global basically JSX file. So let's go to components under layout. Let's import that. So import global. Okay, basically it's going to import it now automatically from styles, just like that. So import global, I'm just going to add some styles here. So global styles from that. Now the only thing we have to do now is we obviously have to create our style tags. So let's just do that. So our style tags with two curly braces and put in our global styles in there, but just don't forget this part right there. Just add your JSX right there. So if we save that, we need to see the same effect like this. So as you can see, now it affects the page because we bring it in from the global style sheet that we created for JSX. Awesome stuff. So that is the convention right there. So if you guys have any questions, please ask them for me in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. And I just wanted to let you guys know, we actually suffering in our country right now, national blackouts right now. So I cannot come to do the work that I need to do to upload more videos because they call it load shedding here, but it's kind of ridiculous. Half the day or most of the day we don't have any power or sometimes no internet. All right, so thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. Adios.